we go.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, Cheryl, for that wonderful endorsement and introduction of Encore Creativity. I love presenting on Zoom because I get to travel around the world looking at everyone's screens. It's always exciting to see where everybody has put themselves for that morning. I'm here at my house. I live in Tacoma Park, Maryland, not too far away from Arlington, and I absolutely love the Village Network. I get to present to lots of villages, and there's so much good work happening. Congratulations on your 10 years and exciting about 400 members. That's really, really wonderful. So I know that is not happenstance. That's a lot of work. And so congratulations to all of you. I also love Arlington. We have a choir in Arlington at the Lubber Run Community Center, that beautiful, beautiful community center, and have been there multiple times. And excited today to share with you about Encore. I have the privilege and honor of being the CEO of this wonderful organization. I've been here leading this organization for 2.5 years now. And I moved here from Orlando, Florida. So very different culture for sure here in the DC area than Orlando, Florida. Started my journey in church music, then worked for Walt Disney Entertainment. I was a casting director and producer for Disney World, and then started a nonprofit called Central Florida Community Arts that was choirs and orchestras and theater and youth programs and really arts for all ages and all abilities, and got to lead that wonderful organization for 12 years. And was really asked several times by Gene Kelly to consider coming to Encore to lead this great organization into its next chapter. And I actually, in 2021, Gene called me and said, I am finally retiring. I really am retiring this time. And we want you to come and lead Encore. We believe you're the guy. And so I actually had just been granted a 7-week sabbatical from my board after leading the organization for 12 years. So me and my dog Huckleberry, we traveled the country. And I said, it's perfect timing for me to consider coming and leading this great organization. So in Grand Teton National Park, I said yes to Encore and went home and transitioned and moved here and loving this organization and love leading this organization. So I'm going to share my screen. And as was mentioned by Cheryl and Liz and Wendy, this totally can be interactive. If you have questions or testimonies or things that you want to share as we go, feel free to do so. I'm happy for that. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully you can see that. I'm going to make it full screen. There we go. So Encore Creativity for Older Adults, and our slogan is building a world where all older adults have a place in the arts. Uh, in the arts, whether it's performing arts or visual arts or any type of arts, there is ample opportunities to be a consumer of the arts. So whether, especially here in the DC area, whether it's the theater or the symphony or the ballet, to go and consume the arts, there's lots of places for that for older adults. But when it comes to participating in the arts, to being on stage in the arts, there's not as many opportunities. And so we are really looking at creating a world where every older adult can access being a part of the arts and participate in the arts. Our mission is to create meaningful arts experiences, supporting lifelong learning, wellness, and of course, fun for all older adults. And we envision a world where older adults everywhere have a place in the arts. We are a national organization. We started in Maryland and in the DC area, but we've been quickly expanding, and I'll share some of that work with you. And we like to talk about, when it comes to our programs, that everyone has a place at Encore. That if you love to sing,
Mhm.
if you love to be in the arts, you have a place at Encore.
Mm.
And we value diversity and invite all to share, learn, and create in that environment of respect. So here are just some of the things that we value as an organization. We celebrate the older adult voice. All of our conductors and educators are trained to work with the older adult voice. Our voice, speaking voice, and our singing voice changes as we age. And so being able to make sure that our conductors are able to work with our voices at that stage, they're trained in that. We create an accessible and inclusive arts community. I'm going to give you some statistics around this, but the work that we do with singing improves health and wellness and well-being. We're inspiring a passion for quality lifelong learning and cultivating opportunities for social connection and friendship, very similar to the villages, creating friendships, building relationships, finding community. Encore does that in a very big way. So to give you a little bit about our history and our story, we actually began in 2001. So the National Endowment for the Arts, the National Institutes for Health, and ARP came together to create a study on creative aging. It was with the George Washington University Center for Arts, Humanities, and Aging. And that research was really a pilot program of three different types of arts. There was choral singing in Alexandria, Virginia. There was dance in New York City, and then there was theater out in California. All of those pilot programs still exist in some iteration today of programming for older adults. This was an 18-month study, and there are about 100 older adults received choral practices and performances and community building activities all centered around music. And then after that 18-month period, the research was absolutely astounding how music really affected those people who participated. So I'm going to share some of that with you. Because it was so successful, and because really in 2001, that was the catalyst for really creative aging programs across the country, our founder, Gene Kelly, then officially formed Encore Creativity for Older Adults in 2007. So we are on our 17th anniversary now as an organization. Quickly after it was formed, we were invited to do our very first Kennedy Center concert in 2008. And every year we have performed, minus the COVID years, on stage at the Kennedy Center. This past December, we had 400 of our singers on stage to an amazing audience. In 2009, we started our Singing Abroad and travel programs. In 2015, we launched the Encore Rocks program, which I'm going to share a little bit more with you about what that is. In 2017, our 10th anniversary concert at the Washington DAR Constitution Hall. In 2019, we launched our Sentimental Journey Singers and all of our brain health programs. So those are music programs and choirs that are matched with those who might be experiencing some type of cognitive change or cognitive decline and their care partners. In 2020, like a lot of organizations, including yours, I'm sure, we adopted virtual programming and virtual rehearsals due to COVID-19. And that is when we launched Encore University, which is now our online learning, lifelong learning program. In 2021, in September, I arrived in September of 2021 to bring us back into safe in-person singing. And then we had our 15th anniversary concert at the Strathmore Music Center. In 2022, we launched Melody Makers, and Melody Makers is another brain health program, but more for late stages of dementia. And those programs are actually mostly in memory care units, and those are more music education based. So just some thoughts for you to think about today. According to the Surgeon General's report from 2023, which you probably have heard this, you've probably discussed this at the Arlington Village, but loneliness, depression, isolation, social isolation now ranks as one of the highest health risks for older adults. The domino effect that happens to us mentally, physically, emotionally of being isolated or loneliness and depression is not good for any age, but it is one of the highest health risks now. Older adult singers have consistently reported that singing involves them in their current community and increases social connection. Music and memory are deeply linked. How many of you have seen all the work about with Tony Bennett? Tony Bennett made very famous music and memory, but those we've always known have been deeply linked. For those with Alzheimer's or other dementias, singing and music can connect them with care partners and reduce stress. And then singing creates a positive environment, socially, mentally, and physically, that connects us with other singers. So in that first National Endowment for the Arts and National Institute study that happened in 2001, when they investigated uh, how the music and how choral singing actually affected us, those results were truly astounding and truly striking. So there's a book called The Creative Aging by Dr. Gene Cohen, who was the gerontologist who led this study. That's absolutely fascinating if you love to read The Creative Aging. Um, but this really showed several things. One, there was a decreased loneliness and isolation. There was reduced levels of depression, anxiety, and stress, a decrease in prescription and over-the-counter medications, an increase in morale and interest in daily life, an increase in cognitive functioning and memory. There were reported fewer doctor visits, falls, and medical interventions, and a sustained involvement in community and local activities. Does that sound good to anybody here in the Zoom room? Sounds good to me. But truly, these things after 18 months from the baseline of when it started made a huge difference. So when we talk about music and physical health, and on our website, Encore Creativity for Older Adults, encorecreativity.org, I'll put that in the chat before I go, we have a page that says why we sing. And it's lots of articles and resources and videos for you to check out on what singing really does to us as human beings. But here's just a little bit of information. Singing is uniquely suited to improve physical health. Studies have shown that singing and choir participation improves breathing and lung function, reduces tension in the body and muscles, promotes proper posture, and produces endorphins, boosting physical health, reducing pain responses. I hear testimonies every single day from our singers about what singing is doing in their lives and how finding Encore for many of them has been a lifesaver. But I remember about a year and a half ago, I was sitting with a group of our singers in Annapolis, and a singer said to me that she had just been diagnosed recently with lung cancer. And when she asked her doctor, which I really want to meet this doctor, what she should be doing besides, the medical. He said, you need to go find a choir and sing because singing is the best thing for your lungs. And I thought, oh my goodness. So she did. She Googled finding singing and she joined the choir and she's been singing with the choir for the last year and a half as she goes through this journey. And I thought, wow, what a testimony from a doctor to say, go sing. That's what you should be doing for your lungs. So,
Joshua, is this a good time to break and go through some questions? Because we've got
sure.
some for you. Okay, actually, someone who is me asks that I believe there's a fee to join Encore.
There,
Um,
yeah,
and
there is. I'm
and
sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, if someone has limited means, is there anything like a scholarships or sliding scale?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Liz. So there's a fee. The fee for the 15 weeks of rehearsals and your performance, that includes, your music, your learning CDs, your online resources, all of that is $190 per semester. However, we have a scholarship fund and we have a scholarship application that's very simple. If you say you need it, we give it to you. So we give 100% scholarships if there's any type of financial need. And so we don't turn anybody away from our programs due to finances.
Okay, and then there was a question, if a singer isn't paper trained, if they can't read music, what then? Being in a choir and not being able to read the music, how do they cope with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a couple of things. First of all, our programs are non-auditioned. So if having to audition for a choir makes you nervous, you don't have to audition for us. But there are lots of resources for you to learn. So first of all, we give everyone a part dominant CD. So if you're a soprano or a tenor or a bass, you have a CD that has all of the music with someone singing your part for you. So you can sing along and learn your part by ear or by rote. But we also have classes that you can take that help you understand what's happening in the music. So they're educational classes. We're actually going to be launching something in September. We haven't told many people this, so Arlington Village is hearing about this, one of the first groups. we're going to be offering for free because of some very generous support. When people join Encore in their first 3 rehearsals, their first 3 weeks, they can also have a second rehearsal online that really helps break down what they're learning in a deeper way. So what is a measured number? And what is a quarter note? And what does it mean when your conductor says to do X? And so it'll be kind of a complement to those first few weeks of being in a choir if you've never sung in a choir before, or you just need a refresher. So we give you lots of ways to be successful.
Okay, and then someone asks if you don't sing well and don't have a great voice, it's still okay to join and people won't like throw tomatoes at you or anything.
Right, that is very much the case. So our Arlington group is actually about 50 singers and growing. So if you haven't sung in a choir before, or you think you don't have a good voice, that may be your own opinion. You could be a great singer. You can kind of hide in it. It's not just a small group of singers. You can kind of hide in that and learn to sing. And then you'll get paired with other singers when you join who can help you and help you on that journey. But yes, we take anybody and everybody who wants to sing.
Okay, and one final question. Do your singers visit senior care facilities, or can someone call and say, hey, can you come to my mom's house? She needs a choral performance.
Yeah. So currently, we all of our concerts are free, which I think is something beautiful about Encore. So we have these community concerts that are happening. And you can go to our website. We actually just launched all the concerts for the spring. So around the Arlington area, in Arlington and around Arlington, there are multiple free concerts that you can go to. There are times that we will go and perform at senior centers or community centers. And there are some of our programs that actually are in senior centers and they do the performances there, like at Schweinhout Center in Silver Spring or the Ashburn Senior Center in Ashburn. So it just depends on where our program is. But if someone knows of that, I'm sure there are a group of singers who would be willing to go and make music in that facility.
Okay, that's all the questions for now. Please carry on.
Okay, those are great questions. So if you have more, please keep asking. All right, so moving on in the presentation. So music and mental health. In the landmark paper, Music on Our Minds, The Rich Potential of Music to Promote Brain Health and Well-Being, AARP actually just put out another big article, like a 12-page article around music and memory that just happened a few weeks ago. But music impacts different regions of the brain, including listening, movement, attention, language, emotion, memory, and thinking skills, and helps them all weave together and work together. Can help people recall powerful and meaningful memories and emotions. This is something that I can't stress enough about singing and music is I have been in many of our programs for those who have early stages or mid stages of cognitive change or dementias. And someone will walk into a rehearsal and maybe not understand why they're there, maybe very not responsive. But then I've seen them sit down in rehearsal and we sing something from their childhood or from when they got married or from when their kids were born. And that connects them to powerful memories and they lift their head and sing every single word out loud from memory. And it's beautiful because not only do you see that person just come to life with that music, but their care partner is sitting beside them just weeping because they see just a glimpse of the person that they love. It really is powerful. So, but it's not just for those with cognitive change. It's really great for the prevention. AARP is working with us on some new research on how music is a part of the prevention of cognitive decline and one piece of things that we can be doing as we think about prevention. It stimulates thinking skills when learning to sing a new song, play an instrument, or dance, can help manage stress by participating in an engaging, enjoyable activity, positively affects the mind by physically reducing blood pressure and heart rate. I can't tell you how many times our singers have said, Josh, I came into rehearsal thinking about all these things, whether it was health or my grandkids or finances or whatever it may be. And I come into rehearsal and I forget all of that. for 90 minutes. My mind is just taken away by the music. And so reducing our blood pressure and our heart rate is a real thing and improves quality and length of sleep, which enhances mood and reduces tension. So the study proved a vital point that has guided Encore's vision. Singing keeps you healthy, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So just to tell you a little bit about our programs, thankfully we made it through COVID. We put together a COVID task force led by medical professionals who guided our every step in coming back to in-person singing. And our singers took lots of precautions, everything from vaccinations and boosters to mask in our first couple of years. You can see here now our last performance at Kennedy Center. Most people are back to being unmasked, but it took us a while to get there. And we are growing like crazy. Encore is the largest it has ever been right now. And so not only did we survive COVID, we came through it, and now we're thriving on the other side as people are looking to engage in things like singing. So currently we're in 7 states. We'll be in 9 states by September. We currently have 43 choirs, and this semester we had 1,574 singers singing in one of our programs. So we really have 4 areas of Encore: Encore Chorales, Encore Rocks, Arts for Life, and Encore University. So our chorale, if you are a singer or you know people who love to sing, Encore Chorale is your traditional choral ensemble, conducted by fantastic professional conductors. You do sing in harmonized performances with soprano, alto, tenor, bass parts, and that repertoire is selected from American Songbook, classical music, musical theater, new works and compositions. A quote from one of our singers: "The chorale experience has been everything I hoped for and more. I've met people, felt more connected to my community, revived my love of choral singing, and improved my speaking and singing voice." I love the name Encore because so many of our singers sang in high school or college or in their church choir, and they put that on hold maybe for career or for family or whatever it may be, and now they're getting to come back to that love of singing. Um, Encore, Sentimental, oh, looks like Rocks is missing. But Rocks is just the same. It's just like our chorales, except they sing the best of rock and roll music. That includes country and Motown and all sorts of fun things of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. And when they perform with a rock band. So that is a super cool singing group. As I mentioned, Sentimental Journey Singers, that's our extension of our Singing for Life philosophy, supports individuals with early to mid stage of cognitive change and their care partners, 3-part mixed choral music, and thanks to generous funding from individuals, from grants, from corporations, all of our Sentimental Journey Singers program, we currently have 8 of those choirs, is completely free to singers and their participants. It's beneficial to have physical activity, social activity, and mental activity every day, and Sentimental Journey Singers covers all of it. And then last is Encore University. And this is our online arts education programming by top educators across the country, conducted over Zoom. And this is not just singing, but we've had dance classes, we've had learning how to write poetry, learning how to paint, all sorts of things from the comfort of your living room or kitchen table. So beyond singing in your local chorale, once you join Encore, you join a very large family of singers and some very unique and cool experiences if you choose. We have what we call chorale institutes or summer camps. You can see here there's a summer camp that's at Chautauqua Institute in Chautauqua, New York, which we do every year. We also do a camp at Washington College, and this year we're doing a Rocks camp in Memphis, Tennessee. Last year we did one in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So ways to go and get away for a week and learn music and do some neat things in the cities that we have camps. Retreats are like weekend retreats. You can see all these wonderful people having so much fun at a weekend singing retreat. And then we do travel opportunities. So this, in just a couple months, we're taking a tour to St. Thomas. We're taking about 70 singers who are going to sing in St. Thomas. We also, last summer, we did a singing river cruise that went from Vienna to Amsterdam. and sang all along the river, which was the Rhine, which was really, really wonderful. And next year, we'll be going to Ireland and singing and touring and performing in Ireland. So lots of neat ways to engage. This is just some of our current communities, not all of them. You can see we're mostly in Maryland, Virginia, DC, Delaware, but we've started expanding into other places. And these are some of our future communities that we're looking at. So looking ahead, our goals for the future, expanding Encore's programs nationally. We know how beautiful music is and how great choral singing is, and you can see all those lovely laughs and smiles there at a rehearsal. We know this is good, so we want to bring this to as many people 55 and older as possible. Rebuilding participation in our existing programs and connecting with singers and older adults in our current communities like we are today, making sure you know that we exist. Incorporating diversity in all of our programs, making sure that our programs and our choirs and our reflect the communities that we serve, and serving as a thought leader for creative aging and older adults arts programs throughout the country. So this is just a sampling of some of the sponsors and partners and funders that we have. We do all that we can to connect with corporate support and foundational support to keep those membership fees low, or to create scholarships or free programs in underserved areas or in our brain health. So you might be saying, Josh, this is great. Encore is awesome. I love it. How can I get involved, or how can I stay connected? First of all, you could sing with us. If you are a singer, you love to sing, there is a chorale in Arlington, and it's a great chorale with a fantastic conductor. Dr. Ingrid Lustrid is the conductor there. So if you'd like more information about singing with us, you can find that on our website. We are in the middle of a semester, and we launch again in September for our fall semester. You can volunteer with us. Community partners help us reach new heights. You can introduce us to partners in your area, like someone mentioned about a senior center, coming in performing at a senior center. Of course, if you want to support us, you can do that as well. And this is our contact information. Our website is encorecreativity.org. I know this is being recorded, so you can go back and take a look at that. That's our phone and our email address as well. All right, so that is a little bit about Encore. Can I answer any
Yeah, we
questions?
have a couple questions and my chat just moved on the page. So here we go. I'm just looking. Oh, first, an observation. The breathing required for singing promotes relaxation. And I can testify that the hyperventilation high is really, really fun. Yeah, I ended up jumping on the wrong bus because of that. Let's
I
see.
love that.
Yeah. What if a person doesn't know whether they want to be in the choral group or the rock group? Is there a way to like sample the various offerings, or do you have to just commit to one and then switch over if you hear that the other is better for you or something?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our first couple of weeks of rehearsal, so there's 15 weeks of rehearsals. The first couple of weeks are trial rehearsals. So you actually can go without even registering or paying. You can go and just sit in rehearsal. They'll have a loaner packet of music for you, and you can check that out. So in week one, you could go to the chorale, and week two, you could go to the rocks, and you could make your decision if you wanted to register for either or both. We have a lot who sing in both groups.
Okay, and you sort of answered this question, but do you work with any other organizations such as folklore societies or local barbershop groups, or other revels, Folklore Society of Greater Washington, those kinds of groups?
Yeah, so we love to support other groups and the work that they're doing. We haven't done a lot of collaborations with other groups, but that's something our artistic director and assistant artistic director are really passionate about doing and looking at doing. And so if anybody has any ideas of groups that you think we should be introduced to or collaborate with, absolutely email us and let us know.
Okay, Fred Stolnitz over at the I never know how to say it, Schweinholz Center.
House Center, yeah.
He does a song circle for seniors.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. I'll have to look more into that.
Okay, any other questions? I think we're through with questions now.
I was just going to add, because I've attended some of the performances. You may want to talk a little bit more about that, where they are. Do you just do a holiday concert? Do you do other concerts as well? I think you mentioned already that they were free. And so, but maybe as people are thinking about whether or not they want to join, does it vary in terms of, which groups sing where and when?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna see if this is up. It doesn't look like it's up on the website yet. It's not up on the website yet. It'll be up probably today or tomorrow. But if you go to, oh yeah, there it is, performances and tickets. There we go. So I'm going to share my screen. If you go to our website, um, and you click on, this is our website, and if you click on the top where it says performances and tickets, you can scroll down and you can see the dates and the times and how to reserve your free ticket to go to any of these concerts. And they're all over the place. So if you wanted to even go over to Alexandria, if you wanted to go over to Fairfax, if you wanted to go to Reston, if you want to go up to DC, if you want to go to many free concerts, that's all here on the website. There's multiple places. There's one in Georgetown, one up in Frederick. Here's the one in Reston. So you can scroll through here and you can reserve free tickets to any of those concerts. The concert seasons happen twice a year, one in December. That's our fall concert season. And we really are performing almost all of December, and that culminates with a big concert the day after Christmas at the Kennedy Center. And that is a free concert. It has been extremely well attended. And for the first time, and then we have our spring concert season, which happens in April and May. And for the first time ever, we're actually doing a ticketed mass chorus event, and that's at Capital One Hall in Tysons. That is going to be on May 4th, and that will feature about 350 of our singers on stage. Tickets are only $10. That's just to kind of help offset some of the cost of being at Capital One. But if you're looking for more to experience Encore kind of in a grander way, with a lot of singers, that Capital One concert on May 4th is a great way to catch us.
Another thing that I might ask you, Josh, because I know so much about choral groups, is that rehearsals. When
Mhm.
are the rehearsals? Are they usually during the day, as opposed to at night? Is there parking? So that's kind of talk more about the rehearsals, how long they are, how many they are in connection with any particular performance. And then you might want to just talk about preparation for a performance. Is there a special um, uniform that you can see there? Sometimes men are in suits, but sometimes they're in black. Sometimes they wear T-shirts. And also music. Do the folks have to buy their own music, or is music provided? So I'm sort of trying to get into the nuts and bolts of what it takes to be a part of the choral group.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive into some logistics. So we rehearse, almost all of our programs are during the day. We only have two programs currently that are at night. One is in Rockville at the Rockville Senior Center, and one is in DC, which is a DC Rocks, and that's in Northwest DC. Every other program is during the day. Depending on where the program is, it's different days of the week and different times of the week, but you meet once a week at that same day and time. In fact, I can bring up while I'm chatting and tell you when Arlington meets, so that you know at least when the Arlington Chorale meets. And those rehearsals are 90 minutes, 90 minutes, an hour and a half for 15 weeks, same day, same time. Depending again on the venue, we always try to find venues that have good parking and have access to some type of public transportation, whether it be metro or bus. Now, when we get into more rural communities, that's not possible. But if it's possible, we try to do that. Like the Arlington, the Lubber Run, there's a bus stop literally right outside of the community center. So we take that into consideration. And then the music is included in your registration. All of that is provided for you, as well as all of your learning resources. And then the last question is about concert attire. So we actually are looking right now into addressing concert attire. In the past, it's been all black, dress all black, and then suits and ties for men. But we're looking at going to a more kind of gender neutral, approach to concert attire, a more relaxed approach to concert attire. Sometimes concert attire can stress people out, and we don't want to do that. We want to make it an easy experience. So we're actually studying that. What are other choirs across the country doing now? And we're going to be addressing that over the next year. But currently, it's dress all black for women, and suits and ties for men.
I would also ask one more, and Wendy, I know you're gonna, but I just wanted to, because sometimes standing for a long time during a concert can be tough for older adults. So I just wanted to ask you to talk a little bit about that if somebody wants to sing, but just can't stand through a whole performance.
Yes, so that is part of our mission of accessibility is we make any accommodations needed for anyone for the concerts. All of our concerts, every singer has a chair. Whether they choose to use it or not is up to them. So we do, most of our people will stand during the concert, but that chair is behind them just in case they need to take a rest. So every concert, that's part of how we do it. So, but you can also sit during the entire concert. We have people who sit as well. We also make accommodations. Of course, we only have ADA accessible stages so that if someone is in a wheelchair, that they're able to join us on stage, and scooters and all of that. But also we make accommodations around, I'll give you an example of one we just, several that we've done, is that we have several people who have Parkinson's. And so they have a music stand in front of them when they sing, so they don't have to worry about holding their music. It's there on a stand for them, so they can just focus on singing. So we make those accommodations for anyone that needs it.
Okay.
Cheryl, I was just going to circle back to Josh's concert on May 4th at the Capital One Center. It seems like there could be a real synergy for A and V group event. One, to see the choral in action, and two, to visit the new Capital One Center, which I think most people probably haven't been to yet, and at a very reasonable price. So we have an events committee meeting this afternoon, and I'll bring this up and see if we want to somehow arrange a group participation if there's enough interest in trying to buy some number of tickets together to go to that event.
That would be wonderful. We would love that. That would be great. Very cool. And I'll just mention that the Arlington Chorale, again, there's so many in the Northern Virginia area. So if this day and time doesn't work for you, you can look at the website and see if there's one that does. But it meets at the Lubber Run Community Center on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Tuesdays at 1 o'clock is when that rehearsal meets. And if you want to even go check out a rehearsal, feel free to email us and let us know, and we'll make sure that our leadership there knows, and you can go and check out a rehearsal.
I actually also wanted to give you a plug of a number of months ago. I was exhibiting on behalf of Aging Matters over at a CARE event where there was a lot of people there who were exhibiting and talking about caregiving and this kind of thing. And I do remember, Josh, that the Sentimental Journey singers, I believe, sang at that event. So in terms of depending on, I don't know how you determine who sings where in terms of invitations, but I was very touched by seeing that group or a segment of that group coming over and performing amongst folks who care for older adults. And so I don't know, is that something that Encore Creativity does quite often in terms of accepting invitations to different
We try
events?
to. Yeah, we do, Cheryl. Thanks for mentioning that. Was that Veterans Day? I think that was probably
I think so. I think it was last November, and your
Yeah.
colleague, and I can't remember her name, but she was there with those singers.
Yeah, Mary Ann, Dr. East. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. If we get invited and we're able to, logistically make it work, our singers love to sing. So we want to give them as many opportunities as possible. And we treat Sentimental Journey singers like every other choir. We make the accommodations and we have the trainings to make them help them be successful. But they actually sing at the Kennedy Center with us. They have a performance on the Kennedy Center stage. And so we give them as many opportunities as we possibly can.
Yeah. So And I think it's really fun to think about the fact that your singers do sing at the Kennedy Center. That's quite an honor to do that. And I believe you bring them all together then, different groups for special events. Is that correct?
We do, yeah, camps, retreats, these big mass chorister concerts. There's lots of opportunities for people to come together across the groups and either perform or travel. And I think that's one of the really cool things about Encore. We actually, if you're a part of any of our chorales, you can actually go to any of the other chorales and rehearse with them. So we have people who, I'm going to give you an example, they may live in Arlington, but they have family or grandkids in Wilmington, Delaware. So when they're visiting there, they'll go to the Wilmington, Delaware rehearsal that week. Or they're in New York City, or they're out in Los Angeles. Wherever there's an Encore program, you can go to one of those rehearsals and meet those people and sing.
And we've got two more questions. One, do practice sessions or concerts on Zoom?
Yes. So we do have online rehearsals, Liz. Those happen every single week and they happen twice during the week. So you can join an online rehearsal live or you can watch the recording. And all of our singers who are participating in in-person rehearsals have access to those online rehearsals. That's great because if you have a conflict or you're traveling, you can still participate in rehearsals that week.
And Pat Burke asked, do you perform with an orchestra or is it a cappella?
We perform with piano. So when we perform with piano for the chorales, and for the rocks, it's piano and we call it rock band, but it's a drummer, a bass guitar, and an electric guitar. If we are doing the big mass chorister events like at Kennedy Center or Capital One, we do add in a little more instrumentation. There are times where the chorale, not really the rocks, but the chorale will do an a cappella piece. It's meant to be a cappella. But most of the songs are done with accompaniment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any more questions? Either verbal or from the chat? Any final comments, Joshua, you want to make before we close out this session?
I don't think so. Just thanks for having me. So nice to meet all of you. I love sharing about Encore and our work. If you want to check us out to sing, you can find that information on our website or reach out to us. We're happy to help you get into rehearsal. And I love the idea of coming to the Capital One concert. So if that works out, that would be great.
And what is that website again?
EncoreCreativity.org.
Okay. Well, let's see, what time is it? It's about 10:50, so we've got a few